All right, welcome in. I'm Kodiak Broncos, and today I'm here to look at the Los Angeles Chargers ahead of our game against them this upcoming Sunday. But before I get into it, I just want to say a couple things. First of all, leave a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're not already. You'd always wait till the end. Hopefully, I'll have earned it. And yeah, without further ado, let's dive right into it because we got no time to waste. And I'm really excited for this game. We have a great opportunity on Sunday. If the Chargers win and go to 3-0 in the division, you're probably going to be chasing them for the rest of the year. But if the Broncos win and go to 2-1 with a tiebreaker over the Chargers, early on at least, that'd be absolutely fantastic. So I'm just here to talk about the Chargers, and one thing you need to know is that Justin Herbert has taken his quarterback play to another level. It seems like going out with Madison Beer has done a lot of really, really good things for him this past offseason. And, Quentin Johnston is also another guy who has broken out. Quentin Johnston is a guy who has really, really struggled to get going in the NFL thus far, but it seems like the Raiders had a good offseason, and then they came out and they laid an egg at home against the Chargers. So let's hope that the Chargers can lay an egg at home against us as well. Oh, yeah, it was just too easy for them. And so you guys remember we talked a lot about Omarion Hampton this past offseason. We talked about, how he would fit in with the Broncos because pretty much every mock had Omarion Hampton to the Broncos. But this one right here, this shows everything about why he got drafted to begin with. So I'm just going to frame by frame this once the full thing plays out. So we go back here, and the Chargers, once again, they like to get numbers going to one direction. They don't do a whole lot of inside running, if that makes sense. So, this is where the Chargers want to be. They want to rely on their blockers to win downfield one-on-one. We've got a tight end mixing it up, Darius Davis mixing it up with the boundary corner right here. And what you're going to need to know is that Omarion Hampton does a phenomenal job at staying down or at staying on his feet. And he's broke 3 tackles basically on this play. And that shows you why he got drafted in the first round. And listen, Omarion Hampton, like every other rookie running back so far, besides Dylan Sampson, has done basically pretty much everything he can to stay off the field. He had that fumble on Monday night with a miscommunication with Justin Herbert on a handoff. But listen, man, he could still really hurt you if you're not careful. So this is one of those games where I think you're going to be missing Malcolm Roach. And yeah, ultimately, that's how I'm feeling about that. The Chargers secondary has been absolutely locked down so far this year. I believe they're second in the NFL in EPA per dropback, so it's a team that's done really, really well so far. And I think a lot of that is due to the fact that they have corners that are really, really playing at a high level right now. So if you're going to watch this right here, watch this. So this is kind of airmailed. Like, Gino does have this guy open, but this is kind of airmailed, and the safety does break on this ball. He does a good job breaking out this ball. I forget the safety's name. I think it's Alohi Gilbert, something like that. I remember they drafted him in 2020, but he's gotten more playing time this year. Either way, so Alohi breaks on the football right here when it's intended for Trey Tucker. But the problem is, it goes almost straight into the chest of the safety, and then Deion Henley right here is able to take it the other way. Let's watch that in real time once more. And once again, this was just a great read by the safety right here. Raiders think they have something, and it goes just right to the Chargers. So yeah, the Chargers came up on Monday Night Football, and they punched the Raiders in the mouth. And this is a team that already has a win over the Chiefs on the road, or it was a neutral site game in Brazil, but they won an international game against KC. So that shows you that they were very well prepared for that football game. And they were very well prepared for this one as well. So I don't see why it would be any different. All right, this is another one. Another one we've got from Omarion Hampton right here, where if they do decide to do some power running, look at all the ways they can hurt you. They have a big physical offensive line, and unfortunately for them, they don't have Rashawn Slater. They're not going to have Rashawn Slater at all this year, but I can only imagine how much better they would be had they had their all-pro tackle right here. And this is one where one of my pre-draft favorites from the 2023 draft, Deion Henley, is going to just shoot the gap right here, completely unaccounted for by the Raiders right here. Watch number 0 right here. Able to shoot the gap so easily. He's coming, and does a great job, 96 right here, of basically giving Henley a free lane to Genty right here, and they stop him for a loss of 5. Let's watch this one more time. Or that's Zamir White, I should have said. Once again, the protection's going to need to be on point, you know. Protection's going to need to be on point. Wattenberg is going to need to dissect that if he can. All right, Najee Harris. A lot of people hate on him because he's not an efficient running back, and a lot of people were laughing at the Steelers for giving him the volume that they did over the past 4 seasons. But listen, man, he's still a pretty good player. Like, I watched his film when he was in free agency this past offseason. I was actually really, really surprisingly impressed with what he showed. And, you know, they have 2 sledgehammers. They have 2 sledgehammers who can really take advantage of the middle of the field against us. So, yeah, this is one where this is an area where Alex Singleton could really, really be a hampering factor for us. So, right here, I do know that it's a little hard to see, but just bear with me, okay? And once again, I am looking into using one of those coaches tool things, but I can't find any of those that are like actually available to the public, at least not yet. So pay attention to Nick Bolton right here. Nick Bolton, 32, has dreads, and listen, man, a lot of people on KC Chiefs Reddit last year were saying that Nick Bolton was going to get a huge contract from another team, and they were terrified that he was going to come back and KC was going to overpay him. Now, they ended up getting a good deal, about $15 million a year, but listen, man, the guy he's supposed to be guarding just completely slips out. I'll let it play out in real time. You know, does this look familiar to what we saw on Sunday with Tyler Warren just chasing the tight ends on the Colts? Or Alex Singleton chasing Tyler Warren all game long? Like, look. Once again, if they can get some creative designs, Alex Singleton is not good enough to stay disciplined, so it'll be interesting to see how we can counteract that within our game plan, how Vance Joseph has the guys dialed in for that as well. All right. There's another one right over the middle of the field. Quentin Johnston breakout season has continued, so the boundary corners are going to need to have a real good bounce back game. The one thing you guys need to notice about this play is watch this safety right here. Watch this number 21. So I think this is not completed by Herbert against us because I feel like Brandon Jones or Hufanga, whether it is a little bit more disciplined than Jaden Hicks, and Jaden Hicks literally has his whole body turned to the strong side right here by the Chargers. But back in the weak side, backside dig flank by Quentin Johnston right here, and just completely catches him by surprise. Pretty good play right there by the Chargers. Pretty good design. So, yep, Greg Roman in his bag early on this year. And then once again, we want to talk about the athleticism, the arm talent of Justin Herbert. Just makes it look so effortless over the middle of the field to Ladd McConkey right there. Man, special player right here, folks. So, him and McConkey both. All right, right here, we've got another really good play by the Chargers. And once again, it's just too easy for them, man. It's just too easy throwing to the sidelines, and I cannot emphasize enough how important it is for our guys to stay disciplined, especially with all these leaks out of the backfield that they're going to have to deal with. And this is another game where it would have been really nice to have Drake Greenlaw, but we will not. So, this is just another scramble drill, and once again, Herbert, back end zone, Keenan Allen right here. So, those are some guys on the Chargers who can really, really hurt us. That's a little bit of what the Chargers have done this year. And I know a lot of people think that Harbaugh, because of his time at Michigan, because of his time with the 49ers, that he wants to run the football. What you need to realize is that the Chargers are 6th in the NFL, dating back to Week 10 last year, in neutral passing game concepts. Therefore, if this is a one-possession game, the Chargers are likely going to be throwing it, so your secondary needs to have a bounce-back game. Your secondary needs to play much better than they did not only last year in LA, but also how they did against the Colts. And I think they will. I think they will if this is one game where it's time for Jahdae Barron to truly shine, and get more than 23% of the snaps. This would be the game to do it. All right, that does it for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys next time. Mile High Salute.